Talking Again podcast. Do you remember Mr. Pontier?
Yeah, but
didn't he get fired?
Hispanic. Look, we're like divulging all these secrets of our city, of our hometown.
Dude,
we're wrong for that.
Covina is very small. It's not big.
So we know.
Yeah.
No, I remember Mr. Ellis.
But
That's who I remember.
Mr. Ellis. That was Trewick.
Yes, that was Matt.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Everybody was afraid of him. He was like the hard teacher.
Yes, he was crazy.
Strict.
Like throwing books, slamming desks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Kiss.
Oh, the
PE teacher.
Ooh, talk about sketchy ass stories.
Because he was like always Mr. Suave, Mr. Kiss, you know?
See, now we're heading into this, like none of this shit
Danger
would
zone.
fly. Yeah, none of this shit would fly anymore.
No.
The stuff that we were allowed to do or that the teachers did or said or just the shit that happened. I don't think that's allowed anymore.
No.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. Might talk a little shit, get a little brash. Might drink a little bit, smoke a little bit. Vibe a little bit, laugh a little bit. Yeah. Hosted by Fidel. Tell it like it is, only tell it real. Live every Tuesday, you know the deal. We talking again. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. We talking again.
What's up, everybody? This is Fidel Talking Again podcast. This is another edition of the Tap. I'm here today with Melanie Cirillo. I'm gonna say Cirillo.
You put your little twang on it. That's fine.
She's like, it's Cirillo.
It's Cirillo.
Okay, Cirillo, Cirillo.
You know, yeah.
Tomato.
Whatever.
Tomato.
It works.
How you doing today?
I'm feeling good now.
I want to thank you first of all because I always forget to thank people for coming onto the show.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you in advance. Hashtag TIA. Because these youngsters are all about hashtags.
Yeah, you got to keep up.
I feel like I do that too though.
You do it?
But I do it bad because I'm talking to people when I say hashtag
like professionally.
LOL. Yeah. Not professionally. It's when I'm on a phone call like at Home Depot and I'm like, hey, you guys were supposed to come out today.
Yeah.
Hashtag WTF.
Perfect. No,
you know?
I do that too. We're trying to stay young. We're trying to stay hip. Whatever.
We are. It's
Don't
just,
judge
you know,
us.
this whole with social media, everything's just going quick.
Yeah. If you're not up on it,
You know?
then you're gonna be left behind.
Just like this right here on Instagram, when I post a video, like people tell me like, if you don't have me within 20 seconds, I'm out.
Yep.
20 seconds?
Yeah, you gotta grab them.
Damn. Thank you, Vine. Thank you, TikTok, because of you guys. No, but seriously, it's just like so fucking fast paced.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy.
Yep. That's the world we're living in.
Hopefully
I hooked them in for you.
We got to adjust, right? But no, seriously, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
This is a 20 year plus reunion for us.
Yeah, don't let them add up how old we are.
No, but they can figure it. I'm sure they'll figure it out. Somebody out there will figure it out.
Figure it out.
But yeah, it's been that long that we we met in junior high, which is even longer.
Which is even longer.
Believe it or that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's crazy. Who would have thought that sitting in one of those classrooms that then flash forward to here we are
sitting in not a classroom but somewhat of a studio
right.
in a big business area that I rented out.
Yeah.
You know, but sorry, it's the alcohol talking. But yeah, who would have thought?
No,
who would have thought?
Yeah.
You know, I swear I would never like. I've talked to a few people from high school already, you know, and that's why I brought out the yearbook because I want you to sign it.
Ooh, that's gonna be not pretty.
Yeah, no, you look exactly the same. Okay, page 131, 1999. If you guys are wondering.
Yeah, if you need to go to your local library, pull that.
If you guys need a reference, because you know it's right here.
Yeah.
But yeah. Who would have thought? So I sit here and I'm like Gil Lozano. I talked to Gil and I was like, wow, it's just to me. I was like. Having a great conversation with him, but at the same time, outside of me is like, this is really happening. Like, this is crazy, you know, but that we can do. But at the same time, I'm like, why did it take for me to do a podcast to actually reconnect with people, you know, fast paced life again, or just us growing
and people separate and, you know, people move away and you don't keep in contact. But that's what social media, I mean, that's the one good thing about social media.
Yeah.
It keeps us connected for this kind of stuff.
Which one did you start with, Facebook or Instagram?
MySpace.
Oh shit! I forgot about MySpace. Your top 5, top 10.
Rewind.
Forgot about
again,
that one.
dating ourselves again.
Dang,
yeah.
that's
MySpace.
right.
Yeah, started with MySpace.
All the youngsters are like, "What's MySpace?
What the fuck is
What is it? What are they
MySpace?
talking about?"
Yeah, MySpace.
Yeah,
And
MySpace.
then
That's
Facebook,
right. Yeah.
yeah. I was really slow to the Instagram, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna do another social
I
media.
had like Facebook, the Instagram. I deleted everything, and then when I got reintroduced to Instagram as to what it was like post a picture.
Right.
You could leave a comment if you want.
Right.
Whatever. But it's mostly just pictures, Yeah. I'm like,
That's how
I
they
like
got
that.
you?
Yeah, that's how it got me. I'm like, all right, cool. And then now that I have a podcast, I got everything else.
Yeah.
I don't use them all, but I got everything else.
And now I can live without Instagram. I can live without my daily meme laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I draw the line at Snapchat though.
Yeah, I have it too, but I don't use it.
So I have it, but it's
why
mostly
do you
for,
draw the
like,
line with Snapchat?
Because it's like I don't think anyone over a certain age, like 30, like why are you on Snapchat?
Why are we on Snapchat? Yeah.
Why are we?
Yeah.
I mean, I have it for the kids. Like the
if
kids
you- I mean-
to play with the filters.
Okay, but don't they have the same filters like on Instagram now?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little
I
different.
think with when all these, I was listening to some podcasts, it's like business wars, where they call it, right? So TikTok versus Instagram
Right.
versus Facebook, whatever. And that's what it is. Like they're just jacking each other's algorithms,
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's the same as software that they're using.
The settings, the edits, the
Everything's
filters.
about the same thing.
I don't do TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah, do I have TikTok? No, I don't have TikTok. Because I just recently posted a reel. That's through Instagram though.
Yes.
But it's like TikTok.
It's like TikTok.
And
Yes.
I was like, I had never done that, and I did it for the first time.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was for, but because I only have one. But yeah. Anyways,
So hashtag we old.
we old. Yeah, I like that hashtag we old.
That was the summary of that conversation.
So, anyways, after Treywick, we'll throw it out there. Treywick, right?
Yeah.
Before it was middle school. Now it's it was intermediate before it was middle school.
Yes.
Now it's middle school because they
Yes.
added the sixth.
They added the sixth grade. Mhm.
Because you weren't there for that, right?
No, it was just.
It was like 2 years.
It was 7.
2 years after you left, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when they added it.
They added the sixth
Or
graders.
maybe 1 year. But yeah, what kind of memories do you
That's a big
have?
deal. Oh, Treywick?
Huh.
I don't think anything good. What do we remember? Do we want to remember that stuff? I honestly remember like
Turkey trot. Remember the turkey trot? Oh,
no.
every year we had a turkey trot.
What the?
We would go out there and run laps, and you have to run a certain amount of laps, and you get a turkey at the end if you ran a certain amount of laps. If
I
you
do
don't,
not remember that.
and if you didn't run a certain amount of laps at a certain time, then you
didn't
got
get
a
a
pie.
turkey?
You didn't get a turkey. You got a pie.
Oh, so well that
At least
doesn't
you got
suck.
something.
I'd prefer the pie.
You don't remember
My
the
ass would
turkey
stand
trots?
there and say, "Give me my pie."
Wait, you don't
No.
remember turkey trots?
No. Do you remember how they made the girls like at like certain time of year, like instead of PE, we would have to learn those dances?
Which dances? What?
See, it was just for girls. We'd have to learn these dances, and we do them in like these little groups.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
And then we had like a competition. Yeah, like
Are you serious?
Yes.
Like, so they were prepping you guys for cheer.
yes, we'd learn like different dances.
Times have changed. I bet you they don't do that anymore.
No.
They probably can't get away with stuff like that anymore.
No.
No.
That's all we did for like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not fun.
So what kind of dances were you guys doing?
I don't know. I just remember like circles,
Yeah.
like probably westerns and do-si-dos and
What the
river
hell?
dance.
Did you ever use any of that stuff in high school?
No.
So why would they?
No.
Whatever.
No.
No,
Just
I don't.
something for the
I don't
girls to
remember
do.
that. I don't. Did you guys ever like perform for us?
Yeah.
Us men. I mean, guys.
Yes.
Men.
And yeah. Make the girls do the dances and then perform for the men. Yeah, there was like we're all in the
Why do I not remember this?
because we were all in the same colors and there was like streamers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh
flashbacks.
yes, now I do remember.
Yes.
That's right.
It was weird,
That
right?
was weird.
Okay.
That's some weird shit. You guys
Yeah.
need to research that.
I'm pretty sure they don't do that anymore.
No, they can't get away with that. No.
No. They don't do a lot of stuff anymore.
There's a lot of things yeah.
No. It
I'm,
was
I'm,
weird.
I'm trying to think of hashtags. Well, me too. Hashtag me too. Like they can't get away with that kind of stuff because it's
Nope,
like,
you can't
hey,
do that. We're calling you out right now. Middle schools.
No
yeah.
more.
No more
But no,
organized
yeah.
dance.
Those are just a couple things that I remember from Treywick. The fights at the liquor stores.
Yeah, I remember fights. I remember like certain teachers that stick out.
Who?
Who sticks out?
You know who I remember right now? Just right, you said
Right now?
teachers?
Yeah.
Shoemaker.
Oh, I don't remember.
Shoemaker. She was a teacher. And the only reason why, this is crazy. You just said teacher. I thought Shoemaker. her birthday was the same birthday as John F. Kennedy. So every time,
She told you?
wait, was it the same birthday? No, it was the day that he was assassinated.
Oh, okay.
So every time that, we always took a break from school to do the, memory, right? And it was always,
she would tell you.
She would tell you every single time it was her birthday. Well, twice because it was only 2 years, 7th and 8th.
No,
but shoemaker. That's
what did she teach?
I think it was like Spanish. Was it? No, was it English?
I don't remember.
Did we have Spanish in junior high?
Yes.
So then maybe it was Spanish.
Who was the Spanish teacher who was like sketchy? The guy.
The guy?
The guy. Maybe it was that. That was high school.
That was probably high school.
Yeah.
And then sketchy Spanish. Was it Mr. Pontier?
No.
Do you remember Mr. Pontier?
Yeah, but
didn't he get fired?
Hispanic. Look, we're like divulging all these secrets of our city, of our hometown.
Dude,
we're wrong for that.
Covina is very small. It's not big.
So we know.
It's
No.
I think he got fired for some.
I remember Mr. Ellis. That's who I remember.
Mr. Ellis. That was Trewick.
Yes, that was Matt.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Everybody was afraid of him. He was like the hard teacher.
Yes, he was crazy.
Strict.
Like throwing books, slamming desks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Kiss.
Oh, the
PE teacher.
Ooh, talk about sketchy ass stories.
Because he was like always Mr. Suave, Mr. Kiss,
See, now we're heading into this. Like none of this shit would fly. Yeah, none of this shit would fly anymore.
No.
The stuff that we were allowed to do, or that the teachers did or said, or just the shit that happened. I don't think that's allowed anymore.
No.
His parents are too on it, and it's like lawsuit after. It has to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that stuff is coming out now, like with Sheehan. Poor that dude. Well, I say poor, but I mean that dude. They were trying to get. They did get him out, right? He was a superintendent or something. Like that. They got him out. But I remember Sheehan. I mean, he did some crazy shit to us.
It's crazy.
He did some crazy stuff.
It's crazy.
Anyways, enough about that.
That shit
talk.
would never fly.
No, it's
High
insane.
School was fun. High school was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how you been?
I mean, just surviving. Are we all just surviving at this point?
That's all we can do right now.
Fuck, just trying to survive. Yeah. Life's a little different, but, we're hanging in there.
Yeah. Out of high school, you went to college, right?
I did. I went to Cal Poly.
Cal Poly, boom. I like that you wore your Cal Poly.
It's like the oldest sweater I have. It's falling apart. I was like, people are going to think I'm like struggling.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, it's going to disintegrate and I'm still going to hold it.
It's comfy. It's got a couple holes on this side. You guys can't see.
It does. I don't even care. That's how we do.
But no, that's so Cal Poly. And then let's just get right into this. Where, at what point did it go? I'm going to be a 911 dispatcher.
Okay. So that's not obviously what I went to school for. I don't think you can. That's not something.
I'm sure you can. Or isn't there like a criminal justice classes?
Yeah.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah, but that's not
the same, huh?
Yeah. So I went to school to teach. And I finished, and I, credentials and all that, and I taught for a little bit, and I decided that I wanted to go back and get my master's. But teaching is like 24/7. Like even when you're not, even when you're not with the kids, but it's still, you're thinking about the kids and you're setting up for the kids, and it was just nonstop. And I'm the kind of person who needs to be in a classroom and focus on the stuff that I, have to get done. So I was like, okay, let me take a step back. I tried to find another job that'll at least pay the bills while I go back to school. And at that time, my brother-in-law was he's a police officer. So he was like, why don't you look into dispatching? Because they have a lot of time. On graveyard, they get 4 days off. You make it sound great. So I applied and with a couple different agencies, and I got picked up by one, and I just loved it. And I was just kind of like, no, I like this. I like this.
Was that the dispatching? You were doing that part-time, like on top of the teaching, or you just would stop teaching?
Yeah, I stopped teaching, and then I applied. I waited till I got the job, and the goal essentially was to go back to school and to kind of do my schoolwork on my downtime there. And it's a lot. You don't realize how much the job is and how much we have to do, how much we have to learn. And it was just kind of overwhelming. But I ended up loving it. So I was like, I'm okay with this.
What kind of training was in there?
Training.
Is it like the same training that police officers get?
So we go through a lot of the stuff that the officers have to go to, minus the academy.
Right.
Like we have our own academy.
There is no.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah. You don't have to have it done before.
No push-ups or anything like that?
No. Like standing up from your chair and sitting down.
Raise it up, raise it down, raise it down.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to have it before you get hired. If your agency picks you up, they will send you at some point to the academy for that. And then obviously 90% of it is on the job training.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you can't.
Yeah, I mean something like
you
that.
You can't prep for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about doing like some role playing after towards the end. We think we can do that?
That sounds sketchy.
not that kind of role playing.
Role playing.
Yeah, okay.
So we're talking about the R-rated version.
This is the Talking Again podcast after dark. No. Well, we'll get into that later, maybe.
Yeah.
So the training though, does it stop there for the academy, or do you guys continue training, or is it only on the job training as you go along?
Yeah, when you get hired, you are assigned a trainer, and just same thing as when an officer is picked up, he's assigned a training officer. So we have a training officer, and depending on your agency, what your needs are, the size of your agency and that kind of stuff, everyone has different protocols, procedures and stuff. Yeah. You start on one discipline and you kind of build your way, and your trainer's with you the whole time. But it could be anywhere from, for my agency at least, anywhere from like 9 months to a year.
Oh, wow.
And if you're struggling, sometimes they might extend it if you're showing some potential. But yeah. It's a lot of stuff to learn.
Yeah. When do you actually pass? What kind of testing do they do for that?
So it's steps. So, you start on one discipline, or maybe you even start on all the disciplines together. When I say disciplines, I mean answering 911 phone calls or non-emergency phone calls from the citizens, talking on the radio to the officers. That's a huge part of the training. You progress.
These are live calls that you're doing when you're training?
Yeah.
With an actual officer that's out. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, every trainer is different and every agency is going to be different, but a lot of people like to just throw you in, because if you build up that fear, you might, it makes it worse sometimes. So it's just kind of like jump in. Obviously, it's not here, take over the radio, here, take over the call. Just baby steps. Here, type while I talk, or you talk and I'll type, or this is what you say for, just kind of guiding you through it till you get to a point where you're proficient on your own.
Was there any moment when you were in your academy where you're like, man, I don't know if I could do this?
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, the academy's fun because you're just with a bunch of other people. You're away
all
from
on the
your
same
job.
level, right?
Yeah,
you guys are
away
all dealing
from
with
your
the same
job.
stuff.
It's fun. You have, your lunches, you're learning stuff. I like that whole school aspect of that. It's just when you're actually on the floor in the center, like on the job. That's the stuff that was stressful for me.
Yeah.
Super stressful.
Is there anything that on the floor, like you said, is there like a light? Because I did see some videos and there's like a red and green light, maybe another light. Is there a third light?
A third light?
Like just a light up here above you guys.
Again, every agency is set up different.
Oh, okay.
My agency, yes, does have just so it signifies to the room, because you could have a lot of dispatchers on the floor. We call it the floor, or in your dispatch center at one time. Smaller agencies only have like 2 or 3 dispatchers. I'm sure large agencies, LAPD, have massive amounts of people in a room. Some desks are equipped with lights, so when someone's on the phone.
Oh, okay.
So like, okay, don't bother her, she's talking on the phone. And the light goes off when you hang up. And then also when you're on a radio channel speaking to units out in the field, there'll be another light to indicate that.
Yeah.
So you're just not walking up to people going, hey,
right.
Hi.
Hey, what are you doing today?
Yeah. What's for lunch?
Right. so okay. This is what you're getting, all these emergency calls throughout the day, right? How is it that how can you just compartmentalize a little bit when it comes to like when you get a call? I mean, when you're not on call, are you guys just chit chatting like an office job? Hey, coffee, donuts, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you get the call and it's
talking
like,
about Sally. Yeah.
Talking about Sally.
Yeah.
So water cooler talk.
Yes.
When you get that call, what is it that just triggers you to go, oh, boom, like I gotta go? Is it the training, or is it something within? Is everybody the same? Like, how do you guys react to that?
Just the calls ringing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the different types of the day, you're going to get different types of calls, whether you work day shift or graveyard. And the volume of the calls also varies. At 6 a.m, we're not getting a whole bunch of stuff coming in. There's certain types of day where the phones pick up. And you can see the way our phone system is set up, you can see what's coming in as a 911 emergency and what's coming in as what we call the non-emergency. Like the non-emergency line where people call for questions or things that are not happening right now, that kind of stuff. So at least you're kind of prepared. Like the 911's ringing, okay, so I'm going to answer this and potentially it's something legit, something good.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people call 911 for stuff that's not. And that's something that you learn really quick. That's not legit, you know?
What as far as percentage wise, when you get a call, 911 call, how many of them are like actual emergencies to where the ones that are just, I can't find my cat, you know? Hashtag I'm losing it.
Hashtag don't call 911 for that. I don't ever want to say 50-50.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
but
60,
it's pretty
40.
Wow.
And here's the funny thing though. Then you can, because I've trained before in the past, and I used to tell my trainees, look, you're getting so anxious about these 911s coming in, and more often than not, it's not going to be something major.
Yeah.
But then you're going to pick up the non-emergency line, and it's going to be an actual emergency where people, because sometimes people think, oh, I don't want to bother 911. And then they call the non-emergency line, and it actually is something huge. And you're like, that's what really what I struggle with, because you're expecting that call to just be routine.
Yeah. You get a little off guard. You're like,
maybe transfer it, maybe answer a question, and all of a sudden it's something legit, and you're like, whoa.
I wasn't ready for this one here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it happens.
Do you remember one of those calls, like an example of one of those?
Of one of the ones that that are coming
Unexpected.
in on non-emergency?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. Like, on a daily. You know, you pick up a non-emergency, and it's like, you know, I just got into an accident, and, you know, my husband's bleeding from his nose. That's kind of actually routine, but it's like, you know, ma'am, you could call 911 for this. This is actually something that, so you don't have to wait. Because sometimes people don't realize those non-emergencies. We're thinking it's actually a non-emergency. So we prioritize, we triage our calls. That should be able to wait if you're calling on a non-emergency, you know? That's not something that we're going to rush to if I have a 911 ringing.
Yeah.
So, but if I pick up the 911, it's like I lost my cat, and then this lady's calling, and, you know, I got into a car wreck and my husband's bleeding from his head. Yeah. You have to learn how to always be on your feet. And sometimes, you know, 911 calls have to be put on hold if it's not an actual emergency, and you have to take something that's...
Do you think a lot of people just think something happened, I need to call 911, and that's the only number they know?
That's the only number they know. Yes.
What's the non-emergency one?
What's the non-emergency?
Is there a local station?
So everybody.
I'm asking because I don't know.
You should get to know your non-emergency number. So whatever city that you live in, you know, if you're in, I don't even want to say LA because it's so massive. If you're in a city, your agency has a number assigned to the police department.
Well, let's say we're recording West Covina.
Right.
So West Covina PD
has a number. If you Google it, that's non-emergency. So you can call for questions, for reports that are not in progress. You know, maybe someone broke into your car overnight. Sucks. You wake up in the morning. That's not 911.
Yeah.
That's not a life or death emergency. You call that number. So everyone should look up their city's non-emergency number.
Okay.
And have that. Yeah.
So that happened. That thing happened to me here in front of my house. They broke into my car. Woke up in the morning. My neighbor's like, "Hey, someone broke into your car." I called our local police station.
You call 911?
Not 911.
Oh, okay, good.
Because it's not an emergency at that point,
good.
right?
Okay, good. He's learning.
I called the local police station. Is that the number?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's your local police station.
Yeah.
There you go. Call your local police station, guys.
Call your local, Google, whatever your agency is, your local department has a number, like a 7-digit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Because a lot of people don't know. They just think, I got to call 911.
Yes. And people say that all the time. They call 911 and explain. You try to be nice. Like, you handle because we're very customer service. You handle the problem, but also it's in the future. You know, this isn't a 911 call. And they're like, this is the only number I know. Yeah. Well,
you're very customer service until you're not. At what point? at what point does frustration kick in? You're just like, God, are you serious? Hashtag WTF. That's gonna be.
We're just gonna say hashtag all night. Hashtag every day.
Yeah. You should see my Instagram. It's hashtags. That's all it is.
Hashtags are wonderful things. They're wonderful tools.
Right.
On the daily.
Yeah.
I think, especially if you have an experienced dispatcher who's been there for quite a long time, like myself. It's frustrating because you get complacent as much as we don't want to. There are some days you're just having bad days. You yourself are, you know, and you're supposed to be there for someone else during the worst day of their life. And you yourself are having a bad day, or you get complacent, or you're tired. We get all that, but we have to put that aside to, you know, to help other people. But definitely we get frustrated.
Yeah.
We get frustrated. Yeah.
What kind of in the academy, what kind of training did you guys do to teach your mind to kind of allow yourself to just shut it off and then it's go time?
I think it's a post academy. I think a lot of that is just the civil, the law behind it, that kind of stuff. I think when you're actually with your trainer in the dispatch centers, when you get all of that, and it comes with experience, it comes with tools that your trainer gives you. It comes from, training classes that you take beyond. We're all required to take training classes throughout the year to keep up on our skills and stuff like that. But
like an actor would say, like I'm not saying you guys are actors, but
sometimes 911 emergency.
Whoa, hey, call girl 911. Not just kidding. An actor will say, okay, I need you to cry in this scene.
Right.
So then they have to really go back and then think of something sad and whatever to just kind of boom. Is there anything that you think of to where like I need to just to where I can just get focused? Is there anything that you go to? Is there a go-to for you? Or
I don't think there's a go-to. I think it's just what's instilled in us that we're the first line to people who are actually having an emergency. So we have to keep it together because a lot of the times they're not. Mm-hmm. You get screaming on the other end. You get, just people unable to focus just because of what they're seeing that I'm not unable to see. It's just about being that calm for the officers as well, vice versa. When you're on the radio and they're dealing with something, it's always about just being the calm voice. Because if you bring it down, and people are forced to listen to that calm and sometimes it doesn't work, because people are dealing with a lot on the other end. Mm-hmm. But we try our hardest just to know that we get this one shot to be able to get the answers that we need to get them help and to make sure our officers are safe when they get out there. Mm-hmm. I think that's the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something that the training is in. It's in-house, not in-house, hands-on or
yes, it's very of course hands-on in-house.
So when you get your green peas that come in that are just barely getting used to it, how many of them just kind of like lose it, and then does anybody step in, kind of like, hey, let me help out a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, that happens a lot of times in training. Like again, we take baby steps, and you give them what you can, you think they can handle. If anything goes, awry, we always tell them, you're not alone. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And there's been tons of times where I've had to push, trainees, people who are training out of the way so I can take over.
Yeah.
So I can be at the computer so I can type. Of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're not going to let
you
them
don't get written up for pushing people? Because, it's COVID now, right?
not official, pre-COVID. No, definitely pushing out of the way.
I get you, though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, move. Like, we're I'm connected with my trainee on the phone, or, if I'm a trainee, my trainee's there so they can chime in at any time.
Yeah.
They can, move us over and they can start typing on the keyboard. Yeah. We're not going to let someone suffer because someone's training. But that is a learning experience for the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for me or whatever trainee,
mm-hmm.
You just have to work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you don't get because, it's all about trying to gather information, right? Mm-hmm. When you get that call, when you're not getting the right, answers, mm-hmm. right, from a caller because they're just not in the right state of mind, do you use a lot of like try to listen to what's going on in the background of the phone call, and not just the voice but like noise that's going around? Do you kind of try to put it together, and like we're talking about in the tap room, visualizing it?
If it's the type of call that has that, like if they're in like an emersoncy situation somewhere on scene where you're going to have, other people in the background screaming, or, a fight's going on,
bunch of cars passing by or something.
Then we're able to use that. But for the most part, we can only go off by, what the person's saying. Sometimes, we never get anyone on the line. Sometimes it is just that open cell phone or open landline at your house, and you just hear screaming, and that's all
wow.
That's all I have to go on. You know what I mean?
So how do you go off of that? Like, well, here's another thing. So when they called, mm-hmm. the caller ID, that's true. You guys can see all that, like who's calling, from where the number's calling.
So if you call on what we call a landline, so which is the old school phone, again, mm-hmm. dating
which
ourselves.
No one ever has.
No one has that anymore. Dating ourselves, actually hardwired, plugged into the wall. Some homes still have it, businesses still have them. Then I can, because it's registered, right? It's registered with the phone company, so then I can, which is great, because then I have all I need. I have the house address, I have the name, and we're good to go. Dispatchers hate cell phones. because then I don't have all that information. And a lot of people think like, okay, well, just map me or GPS me. I can to a certain extent, but I'm not going to get exactly where you are, because how good is GPS really? I'm going to get a corner, or I'm going to get, I'm not going to get the exact address.
Right.
So I think people get too, they feel too safe with that. And, they think that if they just call and say, map me. I've had people say that, or, you know where I am.
Map
I
me.
don't know where you are.
Yeah.
I have a general idea where you are.
Can I drop a pin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's hitting off cell towers.
Yeah.
So I'm getting within a certain range of meters,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Híjole.
Yeah.
Those are some of the stressful things that you're trying to help someone out, yet you can't because you're not getting any information.
Yep. God. Those are hard, especially like you said, if you have an open line of a cell phone and someone's screaming and I can't get an exact location, for sure will I send an officer out to that general area where I mapped you? Of course. But unless you're standing out on the street screaming, I don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
And those are the calls that stay with me, because I've had some pretty bad ones where, you hear definitely a struggle, male, female, like some shit's really going down and I can never find them.
Yeah.
I mean, we do the best we can. Like, this is where it's mapping. I can re-ping you to try to, get a better location, and the officer's circling around. But unless it's obvious to us, we can't locate you.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that are like, oh.
So the ones that you are able to locate, dispatch out to, like, either if it's an officer, fire department, ambulance, you guys call it?
Yeah.
Okay, ambulance. Do you, let's say they're done, they finish it, open ticket. I don't know what you guys call it. Is it an open ticket or
open ticket?
I don't know, number process. I don't know.
Open call, like
open call. Yeah.
Incident. Yeah.
So it gets closed out. Do you get if it's open, it has to get closed at some point. Do you get that a notification of when it's closed, and do you get to see what happened, the outcome, or is it always in the back of your mind? I wonder what happened there.
So we do that. So part of being the dispatch, I think a lot of people think 911, they think just answering the phones, but we also dispatch the officers to these calls.
Right.
There's different men and women in the room doing different tasks. So so we are communicating with the officer at all times, and he gives us dispositions or comments on calls, and we close them out. But it's basic, it's enough to close out the call to suffice that. Sometimes we want to know details, right? Yeah. If you have a good rapport with your officers, or you're in a smaller agency where you can communicate with them, for sure. Or hit up the firemen, like, what happened to the baby, what happened to that old lady. You can follow up,
because I'm sure you're like thinking about that the whole day, right? Like,
if you get a really bad call and you just kind of want to know, and you've maybe you've been struggled on the phone with someone, or you were on the phone with a family member for a long time, you definitely want to know. You can hit up your units for sure.
Have you had any like experiences where someone reaches out to you and thanks you for a call, like, hey, thanks for answering my call? And you ever get a call back to that?
I've gotten a few over the years, and those are nice. Some people, you can hear it while you're on the phone, like before you hang up, like when help gets there, they're like, thank you so much. And I don't think we do it for the thank you, but I mean, it's nice,
but it's a bit rewarding, no?
It's nice sometimes, just because of 90% of the time, like during the day, it's not we're the bad person, but we're the person that gets yelled at. You know what I mean? Because we're the first point of contact.
Customer service, right? Yeah,
exactly. There is a customer service aspect of it, answering the phone. So we're the first person who gets yelled at, or the frustrations get let out on, or if you're having a bad day and you're seeing something traumatic in front of you, like, I'm going to get the brunt of that first. And by the time the officer gets there, whether I've calmed you down or we've helped you out in some way, it's always different when the guys arrive. Yeah.
That's why earlier I said unsung hero, right?
Yeah.
Is there an award thing? Like, do you guys get that? Like, just within departments, or like, hey, good job, employee of the month, or whatever? Like, you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So they do acknowledge you guys for your work.
Yeah. If we have the whole employee of the month, we have we call them attaboys or attagirls. Just if we've worked an incident, just between us and the center, if your manager, your admin, here's something good about that. If the sergeant said something, or, we definitely have those. Yeah. Those are nice to get.
So it definitely helps that, like you said, you have a good rapport with officers for the same reason too, right? Like, hey, she's very well with us.
She worked her ass off.
Yeah.
No, and especially when you've been somewhere for so long and you've seen these guys go from patrol to corporal to sergeant and grow with them and be there for them, and make sure they go home at the end of the day and go above and beyond for them. Like a good dispatcher will anticipate her officers' needs too. We do so much for them out in the field. So yeah, that's nice too.
I didn't even ask you, how long have you been doing this?
14 years in May.
14 years in May. That's a long time.
I know.
It's a long time.
That is a long time.
Is there like a retiree, like a number where you can retire at, like 25 years and you're done, or and you get pensions and all that? Or
yeah, the city.
is? Okay, cool.
The city, yeah.
So you are a city employee, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you plan on doing this until you can't anymore, or you do plan on retiring early?
I don't think I'll retire early.
14, you started pretty young.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Probably like 27.
25, 26.
27, yeah.
27?
27, 28, yeah.
That's pretty young. I mean, well, I don't know.
Now it is.
Yeah.
If I could, go back to 27, what I wouldn't give. So yeah, kind of young. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'll retire early because it's just.
You really enjoy what you're doing.
I really do. I'm that adrenaline junkie.
Mm-hmm.
It's different every day. I mean, yes, we do the same tasks. Our goal is the same every day, but you never know what's going to be on the other side of that line.
Yeah.
Or what's going to happen on the radio with one of your officers. And I think that's what, I'm the adrenaline junkie.
Yeah. So it's never like, oh, it's just another Monday. Like it's always the kind of like different.
I mean, it starts out that way, but and then the 911 rings, you know what I mean? Yeah. You just never know what you're going to get. You never know.
Do you have any like memorable stories or events, that have happened? Like when it comes to like something that was sad that you just can't, you always, it stays with you. And
yeah, I have sad calls. A lot of them are medical, because the medical one, you have someone not breathing, or, you have someone panicking about their loved one, which is understandable. So those are always, I think, usually the most traumatic. There's been a lot. I've had one that stays with me. So every Thanksgiving I think about it because I was working on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And let me take a drink. No, I'm just kidding. This
Salud.
mom calls in. Yeah, this mom calls in and it's Thanksgiving. She's driving back to her home.
Yeah.
She was with family, celebrating the holiday. She had her 9-year-old with her. And she was driving back home to the house because her husband had decided to stay home that night. Just like wasn't feeling it. And they were having problems, like backstory that she was giving me. So he texted her while she was at her family's that he was like goodbye, like basically the goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
So she was panicking, obviously. So she leaves, takes their 9-year-old and starts heading home and calls me on the way there. And she's like, I don't know what he's going to do, but, XYZ, he's been feeling this and just all the signs leading to this is probably like legit,
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times you get people call, say they want to hurt themselves, but really they just want someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But this one sounded like pretty legit. So I'm with her all the way there on the phone. I do get units started to the house just so they're there when she gets there. And she gets there first and I'm still on the phone with her.
Yeah.
It'd take a minute.
Wow.
She starts searching the house. She left her son in the car because he had fallen asleep.
Yeah.
So she starts searching the house. But as soon as she got in, she saw the empty gun case like on the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, fuck. So you kind of know. So she starts searching the house, like trying to find him. And she eventually finds him in the closet. And he has shot himself.
Oh, wow.
So it's like going through the wave of emotions with somebody else and like trying to be calm is overwhelming sometimes. But she was what amazed me about that call and why I think about it is because she was just so amazing through the whole thing because she was keeping it together for her 9-year-old. You know what I mean? Like she didn't want to panic for her 9-year-old. Yeah. And she was like, just give me a minute. Like, I know you have officers coming. Just try to hold them off as long as you can because I just want to get like my 9-year-old next door so he doesn't have to see any of this.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a mother then, but I'm a mother now. Just like the strength.
Yeah.
Like realizing, like that she had at that point was amazing. She takes the kid next door and she was like, just hold him off. I'll tell them that someone broke into the house. She was going to make up the story for him. And that was just one of the calls that always stays with me just because of how she kept it together. I mean, obviously I went through the range of emotions with her when she found him and then she had to pull it together for her son and just the strength and composure. And I think about her every Thanksgiving because at some point I know that she had explained to her son, what really happened. And it's just...
That's something hard. That's going to live with her forever. Every Thanksgiving, you know.
And her and I went through it together.
Yeah.
Just us. Just us.
So I mean, that was like step by step, play by play.
Yeah, just us. And
that's deep.
That's something that
you think you would have been able to still hold it together now that you're a mom, taking that call back then?
No, because now that I'm a mom, I've had calls, after the fact that are children related, or moms who are depressed postpartum, and I feel, you know what I mean? Like I feel it because I'm in that with you, girl.
Yeah.
Like I'm a mom. Like I understand that you're stressed. I understand that there's, you may not have anyone else to depend on. I understand like all your struggles. So I feel that with them now, and it's a lot harder to keep composure on the phone with them sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've had, all dispatchers have mute buttons where you can click on and off, so you can yell across the room or you can, and I've utilized that mute button, I think, more now that I've been a mom, just because, I've broken down on the phone with people. Oh. They'll never know.
Yeah.
Because I have to be,
you have to be who's
in control. Mm-hmm. But I definitely have. And there are definitely dispatchers who have done the same. There are definitely dispatchers who are like, after I hang up this phone, like I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I need to go for a walk, or I need to go like have a good cry in the bathroom. For sure.
Mm-hmm. And and obviously the department is pretty good about you guys. Oh, yeah. After a call like that, yes. Hey, take the time you need. Yes. Yeah. I saw a picture that I actually posted that picture today, where there's like maybe I think 3 or 4 dispatchers, and they all had that stressed look,
in front of the screens.
I forgot who was that you tagged that
Dan took those pictures. Art. Okay, so love him.
Good stuff.
At Danson Art. Yeah. Yes, follow him. Canadian guy. Yeah, love him.
That's real. That's real right there. That's 100% real. You guys, you take the call, and even though you have to somehow detach yourself from that situation, but call's over, it hits you. You're human. Yes. So it's gonna affect you in some way, one way or another.
And some calls affect me and may not affect my partner. Some calls may affect my partner, not going to affect me. It's just, it's all based on our experiences, our life. You know what I mean? The calls that we've already had in our career that may trigger something. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, what about, I know we kind of brought the show a little down. I'm sorry.
I know.
That's my fault.
That's real life, though.
But it is real life. And people should know, like, it's just.
But that's part of it. People should know that when you call the police department, just know, because people like to complain about dispatchers, just know that, not to say that we're, to brush off any bad behavior on our part, but just know that dispatcher, we go from high to low all day long, the adrenaline all day long. Yeah. You're calling because, there's someone parked in front of your house and you don't recognize the car. I could have just gotten off the phone with that, you know what I mean? That lady or someone, a 2-year-old not breathing and giving CPR. And I have to like switch like that to then talk to Sally about the car that's parked in front of her house. And it's like,
yeah. Is there like a post-traumatic PTSD for that? Like, so do you guys have groups where you guys can call? And
I think that's part of I think mental health in general, mental health and law enforcement especially, is such a taboo and thing to talk about, or has been. And I think that we've started to shed some light on it. And I think a lot of people are talking about things and posting about things and having discussions and podcasts and groups about stuff, which is great. Dispatch is part of that. Like, we may not see the things on scene, but we hear it, and we hear it first. And sometimes that's
probably, I was thinking that's probably worse, because it's like this.
Yeah.
And then hearing all the chaos and the commotion that's going on.
It definitely exists. And, therapy and counselors are offered to us anytime there's a critical incident or just a horrible call that you took. We have those services available to us. I think a lot of times people don't take advantage of that because of the whole stigma of, I don't want to appear weak, or I don't want to cry about this call, or I know for sure that's how I was. Yeah. And then after I had my kid, I was like, oh no, we're going to cry about this. Yeah. We're going to discuss this. We're going to get this out. Like, it softened me, but in a good way, I think.
I had the same talk with Gil Lozano, right? And Officer Lozano. And it was one of those where I was telling him that I think they should just start enforcing it, where now you have to do it. So there's no longer an embarrassing kind of thing of like, oh, I want to go see you. And now you have to go.
Right.
So there should be like a time where you're just like, hey, you got to do it.
Right.
You know, and I've seen it in like movies where it's like people go through it, and they, I have to see the counselor, and then they work it out. But
right.
But that's a movie.
Right.
Is that's something that's optional right now still?
So for
or
officers,
is every department different?
For officers who get involved in any kind of critical incident or officer involved shooting, they have to. It's mandatory. Okay. Everything else, it's kind of, I mean, a lot of agencies will do a debrief is what we call. So after the incident, you try to get all the players involved to come together and put the pieces together and discuss it so we understand what happened. And, you know, if there's something we did wrong, how to fix it for next time, or, you know, just kind of get it out. I think that doesn't happen enough just because, you know, staffing, time, you know, our lives, that doesn't get to happen a lot. And I just think, especially for dispatchers, it rarely gets to happen because it's, like I said, the next 911 is ringing.
Yeah.
So I'm coming off this and I have to answer the next 911. And if I'm not there to answer the 911 because, you know, I need a break, which is fine, or I need to speak to a counselor, it's, you know, it's staffing. So there's so many things going on. And, you know, as dispatchers, we think about that. So I think we put ourselves on the back burner, you know, and we shouldn't, because you need to get that stuff out to be able to, you know what I mean, handle the next call better.
Yeah. Do you think maybe that's something that should be enforced? Like, hey, let's implement this rule now. Where
I think that would be great. I think even if you don't talk, you know what I mean? If it's enforced, like if you go like with your peers, a group of your peers, even if you don't say anything, it's still beneficial because you're hearing so-and-so talk or this person talk, and you're realizing that other people feel
you're not alone.
Exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said it, like in Instagram, like talking about it in podcasts, posting it on Instagram, you know, just being a little bit more open about it. So that would help. You know, you said going up and down on phone calls. When you're off the clock and you're home, do you ever get like a oh shit moment, like you answer a phone call, or you kind of like something triggers you and you I'm not at work, but you start acting like work stuff? Do you get that? Yeah.
I think a lot of dispatchers feel that way, especially if you've been doing it for a while. I've answered my cell phone with my agency's name, or there's just certain things that not trigger you, but it's overwhelming to be in a center that's busy like mine, with phone calls ringing all the time and people yelling all the time and hearing people yell at you. And then you go home, or, you know, you go out to dinner with your spouse or something, and then there's more chaos and the more chatter that gets me. I know that I require a certain amount of quiet when I get home, just to kind of decompress. Yeah.
How long does it take you to just, is it normally, some people it's like the drive home and they're good.
Yeah. The drive home is nice.
Yeah.
But then boom, right when you hit the house, it's like you switch roles and it's like immediate. I'm the kind of person who definitely needs the downtime, the quiet time at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts on your drive home?
Do I?
Yeah.
I listen to some podcasts.
Just Talking Again podcast is the only one, right? Shameless plug.
It really helps me decompress.
Jeez. Thank you. No. Do you remember we talked a little bit about that, you know, sad moments and sad stories, but what about like funny stuff where you're just like, I can't believe, you know, somebody should make a meme about this, you know, like anything funny like that? Do you get any stories?
Make a meme about this for sure.
any funny stuff that like, you remember, like memorable, like you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I took that call.
You know, it's probably not starts out at funny because unfortunately it's someone who's either, you know, drunk or high or mentally ill, you know, and they're just ranting to you. So it's not appropriate to be funny, but fuck, at the end of the long day, you know,
sometimes it's hard not to laugh.
It's hard. And so people in law enforcement, and I think also people in the medical field, there's just certain occupations that have that dark humor. And we definitely have that, because otherwise that you would not be able to get through your day.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't. So the things that we find funny are probably not supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And then some people will be offended, but it's like, no, it's just, this is how I get through my day.
Yeah.
You have to find the humor in it. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're somewhat desensitized to certain things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks to say that because you don't want to be. And I think it's definitely, I go through periods where, you know, you get recharged or reinvigorated and you're like, I'm gung-ho.
Yeah.
And I'm all about helping people. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to do this. But, you know, you go through periods And then you get kind of, you know, in that low again, and you're like complacent again. You're like, nope, I got to recharge and remember why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I'm doing this to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is that why you're doing this for 14 years already? It's not for the money?
The money's good. Overtime's good. Okay. Yeah. No, I always wanted a profession, a career where it meant something more than just, you know, pushing paperwork somewhere. That I was helping somebody. I was making a difference.
Yeah, because I mean, it started off as education, right? Like you wanted
helping
to teach,
people.
help the kids out, all that.
Yeah.
That didn't plan out, but now you're doing the same. Well, now it's actually even more, to me, something that you're doing is way more rewarding.
It is.
Answering those calls. I mean,
for sure. I definitely feel the sense of I'm making a difference, but I've also got to bring my past life into that too with the training. Like I've trained people and I got to use my, you know, skills in that department as well. So that was always a big thing for me. It's like I have that and I still want to do that. So I can train people on this.
Are there like full-time trainers where you're no longer taking calls and now all you do is train and educate?
Yes. Well, as if you have a trainee, like if we have a trainee available, then yes, but like we don't always have, you know, new people to train. So you still have to do. Yeah. You could always do like the post instructors, like for the academy and stuff. You could be one of those. Yes.
Is that something you have planned maybe in the near future?
It's something I've toyed with. Yeah? I've taken some classes on it. Yeah. Yeah.
How's that going?
You never know what's
you never know
what's going to happen in the future. Yeah.
But it could be an option.
Yeah, it's an option. I like options.
Options are good until they're not.
Right.
You can't give kids options. Them kids have way too many
options. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna do any role playing today because
you're scared.
I am. I'm a little intimidating.
Why?
14 years. That's, you know, I don't know how, and I'm not an actor, so. But if you're to give a PSA, a message to everybody as to how they should an appropriate emergency phone call, is there an appropriate for 911 call? Like,
okay, so 911 is for life and death emergencies. Like, think about it. Is this a life or death emergency? And I have people tell me, well, this is an emergency for me.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
But is it a life or death?
I can't find my lipstick or whatever. Yeah.
Girl, I know you need to find that glass. Like, I feel you. Yeah. But no, is it a life or death emergency? So that's huge because you're just tying up a line for somebody else then. You're tying someone else. If someone else actually has an emergency, you're taking up that dispatcher's time. Know where you are. Location is huge. Know where you are. And it's hard sometimes because people travel. People aren't familiar with certain areas. But, you know, try to always maintain that level of, you know, I know basically where I am. I can pick out landmarks at least. Even landmarks work for me.
Yeah.
One street will help, you know, just the landmark in a street. But know where you are, because if I know where you are, then nothing else matters. I can start help that way. Even if that's all I get, then great. I can start you the world. Yeah. But I need to know where you are. Yeah.
So that's important. Do you guys use Google a lot?
Do we use Google?
Google.
For what?
I'm over here. I'm at this place. It's a little bit of a desert. I see a big donut though. It's not like one that I can eat, but it's a huge donut. I know I can climb in front of the donut or inside the donut, and I can spin around there. But I don't know, like anything like that. Like you're like, are you researching now?
Why are you picking donuts?
I don't know, because I'm hungry.
Because it's law enforcement related, and now I want a donut. Law enforcement related. Now
Is
I
it?
want a donut.
No, it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know why I thought donut. You know why I thought donut? I'm thinking like Randy's Donuts, maybe. I don't know.
What's that big donut place in La Puente? The big donut.
All right, what is it called?
That's what I was picturing.
I should know that one. It's in our area, right?
That's the.
But it's like Randy's Donuts, yeah. But so like, let's just say, you know, are you using Google, or are you guys going off of what you know? Or are you asking questions to your coworkers?
So when you get 911s or, you know, the non-emergency, it's within your jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. So the 911s are wired that if you call from a landline or the cells are hitting off cell towers, so you're going to get the local agency and where your
from that
area.
Cell tower.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a map of my jurisdiction. Oh yeah, always up at my desk. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to. Yeah. I mean, I can see the units. A physical map or no? Like on my computer, we have so many screens in front of us.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's like
so many screens. So yeah, I have a live map that I can see the units because they have AVL. I can map anything on it. I can zoom into stuff. So yeah, that's a huge tool.
Yeah.
Especially when you're learning. Because the more you learn your city and where things are at, the better dispatcher you're going to be.
Have you only worked in one certain city?
Yeah.
Or? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you're like the veterana over there?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
You have to know.
Everybody comes to you?
I don't know about that.
Is there any like weird shit at work? Well, we haven't said where you work, so I guess it's okay.
Oh yeah.
As far as like coworkers, like oh, that girl again, or that guy over
but
there.
that's everywhere.
Yeah, but so you guys do get to experience
for
that.
Sure.
Okay.
Like, okay, you have male dispatchers, yes, but this profession is usually historically women. Mm-hmm. But you do have male dispatchers. Don't get me wrong. You do have them.
Yeah.
What happens when you get
bunch of chismes, right?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 women in a room?
Yeah. Bunch of yentas, just
And not only like women, like type A, control freak, powerful, like wanna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me's, a bunch of me's in the room.
But is that mostly because you guys have to take control of when you guys are on those phone calls? You got to take control of it. Yeah. So you guys are all kind of like, do you turn into that, or is that like people come in like that?
I think no, because not everyone can do this job. That's why the rate of like how many people we go through and how many, dispatchers stay, the turnover is ridiculous. Yeah. Just because some people can't handle it, can't handle the lifestyle, can't handle the hours, just not cut out for, that the sense of urgency that you need, all that stuff. You weed those people out. So what you have left are again a bunch of me's, and that. We're already like that anyways in our previous life. And then now with this, it just magnifies it. Yeah. And then that's what happens. And we turn into these people and we go home. And that's how I am at home. Like, I want answers right now. Yeah. Like, I want everything fast. Like, I can't wait anymore. I'm so impatient. Like, when you go out places, like, you're like, come on, like, just give me the information. Yeah. How difficult is it for you to adjust to all that? Like,
I feel like it's two different worlds when you're in that at work dispatching to coming out here, going to a Home Depot and waiting around, and you're like,
yeah, I have no patience. And then you look at people differently. I think, bad exists. Everybody knows bad exists and criminals are out there. But when you get into a job like this, where you're forced to see it every day, especially within a certain area, maybe the area which you live, or, a neighboring city, it changes you, so that when you go out, like, you're looking at people differently. And not like, I'm not talking about like color of your skin, race. I'm just talking like criminal activity. Like this person, you know what I mean? Just like sketchy, because it's anybody and everybody. You come to find out that there's sketchy people and weird things happening everywhere amongst all kinds of people. Yeah. So like when you do go out to the store, you go to Home Depot, like that's what I think about. Like, you look at people and you just have a very standoffish, approach to people.
And there's some people that you can't even profile because you don't even know. Like, they might look like Mr. Rogers.
That's what I mean.
And you're just like, oh,
that's what I mean.
Nice and cool, easy, but you just don't know.
Exactly.
So do you get that sense though? Like, you get it just from being around someone though?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
you developed that though?
So obviously in the law enforcement world, we use, some agencies use 10 codes or use codes or the penal codes. You just use it as shorthand in conversation to people. Like, that's how we talk. Yeah, for sure. You go out and like I said, my brother-in-law is an officer, and if we're together or we're describing someone, you might throw out like a code or like to describe. Yeah. Cause yeah. It's hard.
That's cool. You guys have that kind of talk though, right? It's kind of you could talk around people and you're like, hey,
and they don't know you're talking about them because you're all using the codes. But then people become, you start sizing up people, anybody and everybody, because it's legit anybody. Yeah. You'd be surprised the stuff that goes on. Yeah. Yeah.
What's some of the most stressful things though that you've gone through in work?
Honestly, I think phone calls are they're hard, and those are the things that stay with you. I think the thing that's most stressful is it doesn't get talked about a lot, is the radio portion of it. And when I say radio, I'm on the radio dispatching my units, the officers, and they're talking back to me. I'm in control of where they're going, what they're doing, their safety. I think that's probably the most stressful. It's the most stressful for any new person. That's the thing that they fear the most is talking on the radio to the guys, just because there's no room for error. They spit stuff out. You have to know where they're at, and they're going to spit it out. They're going to spit out a license plate. They don't have time to worry about if you're ready or not to type.
Mm-hmm. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it happens. Right. Like, yeah, but you should be on your game and ready for that and starting them backing you. That is stressful for me because you could just be chilling on graveyard at 3 a.m, kicking back. Not a word has been said. And all of a sudden your unit comes over and he's like, shots fired. That to me is the most stressful part of my job, is making sure that the officers are always safe. Yeah. Yeah.
What about at home? When you're having a bad situation at home, how do you turn that off? Because that's very personal. Right. To come home or come to work and just let's go,
and everybody has that, right? Everybody has shit that happens at home, and you got to go to work, right? And you got to put that aside. I mean, I'm assuming like everyone else, but yours is
life and death stuff.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was saying. Mine is life and death, so that it puts it in perspective. Yeah, you can have a shitty day. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can have stuff that's happening to you that's overwhelming: death in your family, breakups, divorce, children, illness. I get all of that. But if you're good enough to come to work, then you're going to have to set it aside because it is life or death. Yeah. And it's going to impact that call. Time, like how fast we get out to someone, the questions that you ask, like how foggy you are, being able to pick up when an officer tells you something, for sure. So you definitely have to shut it down.
So the people that can't hang as far as dispatching really quick, right? Get cut really quick. Yeah, yeah. 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 Wow. I do not want to be a dispatcher. Sorry. But I respect you guys.
I don't think people realize, I didn't realize how much the work and the stuff that we have to know, what we have to do in a short amount of time. I didn't realize.
No, you're talking about the jargon, right? The talk, the codes. I can't imagine it. I mean, that's why I didn't play football. Because I couldn't remember the plays. I know that they said it. And I was like, huh? Well, I was in the sidelines, for 1 year, and I was like, I'm out. I can't play football. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of learning. Yeah. Right off the bat. Yeah. It's a whole different language you have to learn, for sure.
I thank you for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
I don't know what to say, but thank you.
No, it's a lot of work. No, seriously, man. Like, I've heard, doing my research, I've been watching some of these videos, and I'm like, God, that's not you just think, oh, answering a call, and you think dispatcher, you're thinking like old school, right? You get a line, and you keep
old school, yeah.
That's what you think, but it's like way more than that.
Yeah, not anymore. It's taken on a whole different level, and there's new things that are coming out just as time goes by, like text to 911.
Oh, right.
There's just new things coming, and we have to roll with it.
Do you guys encourage the text to 911? How does that work?
It's available. I think most cities at this point and where we're at have it. I think when it first got implemented and it went live, I think a lot of people used it to test it to see if it worked.
Oh, shit.
I get some every now and then. Yeah. Just people who just really don't even want to waste the time to call and be anonymous. It's just an easy, just like, I think essentially it was made for people who are actually having an emergency who weren't able to speak. And I think we get more just people who just don't want to talk to us and want to be anonymous. And it could be any type of call. Like my neighbor has loud music, Yeah. Yeah. I haven't got any like real legit.
I can't imagine having like a legit emergency and texting.
Right. Like you're stuck in a trunk.
Yeah. Right.
In a closet with someone in your house. I think that's what we were envisioning. But yeah, we have yet to have that kind of call yet.
Okay. Yeah. So the text, well. That's more of, if anything, the text 911 would be more of like non-emergency. You guys get a lot more of that?
So that's what people are using it for, because they don't want to even bother to call us, because a lot of the times people want to be anonymous. So they think this is just even it's a step better. I don't even have to talk to you. I could just text you. Yeah. Like, this is what's happening. Bye. Yeah. Yeah. No questions.
There you go. It's crazy, man. I would never have thought Melanie would be a dispatcher.
Yeah, me neither. Sitting in a county. Yeah. Nah. Back in the day. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought.
But this is your life now, so.
Yeah.
That's your world, and you've adapted to it. World.
I like it.
Nice. I like it. Well, thank you for coming on, man. It's been awesome.
It's
been great. I feel like we can have another one. We're talking about different issues.
I feel like we could go on and I know.
No, we probably can go on and on, but it's just
But we won't.
We won't. That'll be like a part 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Tune in. We'll bring in somebody else, a co-host. Just kidding. So, You guys, thank you, Melanie, very much. Is there anything that you want to say?
Just thank you for having me. And, remember, 911 is for life or death emergencies.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Thanks again. We just tapped into this. Tune in. Or you guys already did tune in, so we'll have other shows coming up pretty soon. So muchas gracias very much. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Adios.
Yeah. Hosted by Fidel. Tell it like it is, only tell it real. Live every Tuesday, you know the deal. We talking again. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. We're talking again.